Real Estate Investing Profits presents Profit Masters with your host, world-renowned real estate coach and investor, Corey Boatwright. Now, strap in and get ready to learn elite wealth-building investment strategies taught by 6- and 7-figure house flipping masters as they reveal their best real estate investing profit secrets to you right now.
What is going on, people? This is Corey Boatwright. I am your host of Real Estate Investing Profit Masters and the founder of Real Estate Investing Profits. I hope you're having a phenomenal, fun, productive, amazing, incredible day, right? Every day that we're above ground is a huge blessing. Can I get an amen? I hear one. There is. All right. Thank you. Okay. So we have an incredible guest. All our guests are incredible, right? But this one today is going to talk about wholesaling and wholetailing with a T. Wholesaling and wholetailing. Have you heard of what wholetailing is? Well, if you haven't, make sure you stay tuned and listen to what Cody Hoffine is really doing out there in Utah. He's going to blow you away. He's got some great tips, and his story is phenomenal. I mean, you're just going to be really riveted by some of the things he's got going on right now. So I'm excited to have you hear this interview. I'm also excited for you to download your quick start guide, your ultimate real estate investing down and dirty quick start guide by texting the word profit to 38470. That is texting the word profit to 38470. It'll automatically be sent over to you. Click on the link, download it, and kapow! You got it. All right. So I hope that you are going to stay tuned here and listen all the way through on this interview. It is great. Now, if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, obviously we have some spots open for our coaching program. And one thing that we've done recently, I don't know if you've checked it out, but we had one of our websites redone under CoreyBoatwright.com, CoreyBoatwright. You can go check that out. You can click on the link over there for coaching, or you can go to Real Estate Investing Profits /coaching application, Real Estate Investing Profits /coaching application. And you can click there and you can watch a quick video and apply for coaching. It is one of the critical pieces that 90% of the folks that we interview state was crucial to them getting to the next level, and also sidestepping any kind of mistakes and challenges. And you're going to spend the cash somewhere. Okay, so you might as well invest it in yourself. You are the best person to invest your cash with. It is with you and learning how you can be a better person and serve others, be a leader, and learn how you take your game for wholesaling and wholetailing, like Cody's doing, to the next level. All right, so here you go. Here's Mr. Cody Hoffine. Cody, my man, are you there?
I am here.
How you doing, brother?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Look good. Looks like you got a rhino back there on the back of your
rhino. Let's see if we can get that screen, a full shot of it.
I like it. I like the rhino, dude. Look, I got one too. I've got them. They're like paperweights. I've got them pictures. I wish you could see it, dude. What
Rhino Success.
Rhino Success, man. That's an incredible book, right? Incredible book. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time to be on here. We're going to rush through some of these things. I know you got some things rocking and rolling. You always got going on the move here. I've been hearing some great things about what you're doing out there in Utah. Why don't you talk about what your expertise is right now and what really got you involved with real estate investing, brother?
Perfect. So again, like you said, I'm in Utah. Mainly what my focus is wholesaling and wholetailing. And we can kind of break that down if you ever want to go further into that, if you need me to break it down. But
let's do it. Break it down.
Okay, so wholesaling, simply finding a deeply discounted property and then purchasing it, acquiring it, and turning it for a profit. Whether that's sell it to an investor, sell it to a retail buyer, whatever it may be. And then wholetailing is kind of just literally buying the home and probably the next day putting it on the MLS, whether it takes little cleanup or some take a little bit of cleanup, but it's an awesome movement.
Awesome. Okay, so what was one of your big influences in investing?
Some of the big influence, I'm telling you, from the beginning, I come from a background of insurance. I started in going to like just real estate investor association meetings and meeting investors. Yeah. And it was it was mainly just going for like actual like selfish reasons. I was trying to insure these investors, and ultimately I started just getting addicted to all these stories. I saw these investors just making this massive amount of money. Right. I made $19,000 my first year in insurance. If you can imagine how awful this is, coming home as a provider to the wife and like, hey, I made 19 grand this year. Like, congrats, I'm a loser. It was awful. And these guys were making like 19 grand every deal, like left and right. And I was like, this is awful.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what got me intrigued, was just going to real estate investor association meetings. And then from there, I was like, okay, there's got to be something better than insurance. This is pathetic.
Well, let's talk about that. Did you have a breaking point where you said like enough's enough?
So many breaking points, Corey. I'm telling you, like one after another breaking point. And it was so frustrating, like 60, 70, 80 hours a week in insurance thinking, this is my game. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to be a rock star. And then the ultimate truth, when that 19,000 came at the end of the year, I was like, this isn't going to cut it. Like I'm $700, $800, like $900, $1,000 a month just in like basic, like diapers, food, like simple things. I had 2 kids at the time. Wow. And I'm telling you, it just doesn't cut it. Like that's 12 grand right there in basic needs. I had 7 grand left over. I got good at getting credit cards and like rolling debt over to a new credit card. Like I'm a pro at that. When it comes to that, I know this stuff inside and out.
That's awesome. Well, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do, right? You got to figure it out. What was one of the big challenges that you faced with real estate investing, and how did you get through it?
Okay, so that is a good point, because even though I saw these real estate investors and I was insuring some of these investors, right. I'm telling you, it was like, okay, a person like Cody Hoffine, if I'm hearing about this and these deals are going on in the market, like it's too late, because Cody is a nobody in the world of the USA. And so if I'm hearing about it, too late, too long, like the opportunities passed, don't get involved, just stay with insurance and just barely make it. In fact, don't even make ends meet. But I'm telling you, that was my fear, was it's too late. Cody Hoffine heard about this. This is just too late. And I just had to get over the fact that like year after year after year, I kept going to these RIA meetings, and it's like year after year after year, the same investor's like, I just made 250 grand this year. Or the next one's like, oh, biggest year ever, 750 grand. I'm like, what? This is like absurd.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's right there in your backyard, right there. I mean, yeah. So
yeah, we have some like mutual friends that, I mean, you can know that you're like, oh man, yeah, they're doing it.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, okay. So a particular challenge, you remember like a house or deal that you went through that was a like challenge to kind of get through the deal, either a wholesale or a hotel?
Absolutely. I cringe sometimes when people are like, wholesaling is so easy. Like, I'm like, oh man, like it still takes hard work. However, wholesaling in general is a very easy concept, very easy thing to do. Sometimes it's the wholesaler that's complicated. But one specific deal that I can just remember, because it wasn't too long ago, this lady calls us, hey, I want to sell my house. And she tells us the price that she's looking for. And I'm like, man, this is already like a great deal. Let's go look at it. So we go to the home.
She called you from a postcard or a letter or?
Yes. Okay. Yes. So this was a postcard. So direct mail. So thank you. So sending out direct mail, she calls on the mail piece, and then we go out to the home, start talking to her. Everything lines up. The price is going to be just fine. We're able to make this a win-win situation. We send everything over to title to get everything pulled, the preliminary report. And I'm telling you, it was like like list after list. And she told us, she's like, 4 investors have tried to purchase this home and then they back out. And so I was already kind of like a little red flag, like something's going on if 4 investors couldn't pull the deal. But I assured her, I'm like, if there's someone that will find this deal to make it happen, I am the guy. Like, this is it. Well, come to find out, they're from Tonga, but they've lived here for so long. They lived here for like 25 years.
Okay.
Well, about 7 years ago,
Tonga is another place in Utah?
Tonga as in like Tonga, like back in the nation of Tonga, like out of the States.
Oh my gosh, really?
So that's where they're from, is Tonga.
Tonga, okay.
Yes, living in Utah.
Okay.
And they have like 30 years. 7 years ago, though, they went back to visit Tonga And while they were there, the husband passes away, and the husband and wife are on title. You can now see where I'm going with this. Like, I'm trying to get a clear title report, and they're like, okay, well, let's get the death certificate of the husband, and then this is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's get it done. Tonga doesn't have a death certificate for the husband. Like, it's impossible. But what's interesting is they flew. So at this point, it was really, really, really hard. And I'm speaking with a lady that's broken English, but I'm like, I'm going to do this. Like, I am going to, we're making this happen. So
like, you're going to make it happen somehow.
Absolutely. Like, we're doing it. And so we're calling the state of Utah. We're like, hey, what do we need to do? How do we get a death certificate? We actually call this lady, and she's picking up the phone from the state of Utah. And she's like, I'm from Tonga. Like, I've got family members down there that go over to this, I don't know if they call it like a kingdom. I can't remember. It's not county, but essentially like the county of Tonga, like counties in there. I can go over there. Maybe we can get this done. Anyway, so she does. She has family to get it all done. She goes over there. They're like, okay, there is no death certificate. However, they did tell us that the body was buried here in Utah. And I'm like, oh, new knowledge. So I go back, and finally I go to the funeral home, and I'm like, hey, can we get papers that show that this is the place where this gentleman was buried? And they print off everything like, yes, this is the place, like this is everything. Ultimately, we finally found a title company that would insure it, where there were still quite a few that were like, no. And finally, I'm like, okay, there's got to be we've got to do it. So we finally found a title company. They're like, oh yeah, with that paperwork, that'll be just fine. I'm like, whew, we got it.
And just a breath of fresh air. The great thing is that everyone else gave up, right? And because they gave up, what did they lose? How much money did you make on that deal?
That one was a $27,000 profit to me.
So the lesson on that, man, is what? What's the lesson that you learned from that?
Perseverance and not giving up. Like, 4 people gave up.
Just push through, right?
And I honestly do believe my whole philosophy behind any business, and especially wholesaling and wholesaling, is I want to go out there and establish the best relationship of trust. And I don't want to just think about deals and money. Like, people first, profit will follow. Getting the deal or the home under contract is just a byproduct of being their best friend. You go be their best friend, you walk out with the contract every time.
That's great. Great. And speaking of some of these kind of tips and tricks that you've learned, we talk about this thing called the Profit Master investing strategy. What's one of your best investing strategies right now that's just crushing it, that's working, that you would like to share?
In fact, let's go to that. I know a lot of people do direct mail, so I could say a bunch of direct mail pieces than what list we're hitting, but I think something that'd be more important because they could listen to a lot of podcasts and get that information.
Right.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah. How are you going to stand out, Cody?
This is where honest truth, this is my model. This is everything that my team has. And the importance is finding out what your core principles are first and foremost. And if you have a team, that each member of your team have those core principles. So if you are saying, I am love, I am respect, I'm a great listener, I'm going to take care of these people, I want to become their best friend, make sure you hire a team that is exactly that, like that has the core principles. Because you can teach negotiation, you can teach how to talk to a motivated seller, you can teach how to book an appointment, but sometimes it's hard to teach and like someone that's not honest to be honest. Sometimes it's hard to teach people that are crooked how to love them and be kind. And so the core principles are so important to me. And then on top of that, the biggest and best thing I can tell anyone is establish, I call it ERT, E-R-T, establish a relationship of trust. He who goes into that appointment and establishes the best relationship of trust walks out of that appointment 9 times out of 10 with the contract. And so I focus on, when I go to a home, I don't just go in there and start talking about the deal, talking about the home. Show me your bedrooms. How many bathrooms? Oh, I love this. Oh, I don't like this.
Right.
I go in there and I sit on their couch and like, oh, that is a cool dog. What kind of dog is that? Oh, a Boston Terrier. That is so cool. Like, awesome. Can I pet it? Cool. Oh, man, it looks like you have like a 3-4-year-old. What is that? Oh, 4-year-old? I have a 3-year-old. His name's Hayden. Like, fantastic. Oh, look at this picture on the wall. Where were you married? Is that San Diego? Beautiful. Like, I've never even been to San Diego. Is that crazy or what? Like, I'm in Utah. It's like right there. Like, I just build a relationship of trust and talk about them. And sometimes they want to rush me and say, hey, okay, so let's go look at this room. Like, and I'll slow them down a little bit. Like, oh man, like I can envision, like, how long have you lived here? 15 years. I can envision like amazing, like barbecues in this backyard. Like, this is awesome. And it's all about just being a friend. Let them know
Right.
I am someone you can trust, someone that is really honestly here to make this a win-win situation. And if I'm not the option, I'm not ever going to be the square peg, round hole, punch you through. If I'm not the option, I'm also not going to be the guy that walks away saying, this is not for me, this is for someone else. I'm going to sit there still and I'm going to help that person find the win. If I'm not the win, I will still help you find the win. And that's our model.
That's really important, man. A lot of great nuggets that you dropped right there. And it's obvious because of those things that you're following, which is really unorthodox. I mean, a lot of people is going for the kill, right? They're going for the neck, the jugular, and you're coming in the back door and really considering the whole situation and what's the bigger picture, right? And the bigger picture is psychology, and the bigger picture is deeper than that, really is trust. And having that person feel that trust, even though they just met you, how are they going to like you and trust you and ultimately, love what you're offering them, right? So this process of selling, it turns into loving. And it's a very interesting thing you got there with how you're projecting that on yourself and with your team. So because you're doing that right now, talk about your success a little bit. How many deals are you guys doing? Last year, this year, what are you on track? What's your projected? Give us an idea of your business and what it looks like.
Awesome. I like that. So in fact, I just barely started May of 2015. So it hasn't been long. The first 5 months, I did a little over $100,000 in profits.
That's awesome.
And it was fun. It was awesome. And then that's where I started growing in January, where I actually brought on acquisition managers and started exploding with the team.
So you started making 20 grand ish, right? For every month, right? Until you got to a place where you're like, okay, now that I'm getting predictable income, now I need to take it from a one-stop shop Cody to someone else that I can bring in that would help me leverage my time, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so smart and so crucial, because otherwise I'd be wearing the hat still today. And so you kind of got to always be growing and get uncomfortable and stay uncomfortable so you can grow. And in
that
January,
first person was who? What was the hire?
In fact, what it was is I brought over this rock star salesperson that had amazing like characteristic and qualities, going back to that core principle, like a loving guy, a kind guy, a fantastic listener, a problem solver. Anyways, I got him from a company called Best Vinyl. He was the number one vinyl fence salesman in the Western United States. This guy is a rock star.
Wow. And
ultimately what I did is a lot of partnerships sink for the most part, and that in the regard of a lot of times it's I'd say like boats, they'll float. They're probably the only ship that floats, because partnerships sometimes just don't float. They're hard to make float.
Right.
But this guy was a rock star, so I actually brought him on as a partner, have someone equally invested so we could literally double and triple. 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 and 1 in this case is equal 5, to where I was doing like 2, maybe 3 deals a month. We consistently do 10 all the way up to 13 deals a month consistently every single month, to where we're doing a little over $100,000. A little over $100,000 to our best month is about $190,000 a month. And we've done this consistently for the last 8 months.
Profits, Cody?
That is gross. So after profits, still over $100,000 though.
That's
after paying out marketing, it's still over $100,000 for the actual profits.
That's great, man. So, and you didn't know that guy that long, right? So you just kind of felt like that was the right move for you?
I've actually known him for quite some time. He was just very comfortable. He had worked in this job since he was 21 years old, had a 6-figure income because he was just a rock star. The guy was solid. I actually worked for Best Vinyl back in 2010, and that was my first year. I sold for about a year for them, and that's how I met him. And I literally, everything I did in vinyl fence sales is because I went on 5 appointments with this guy, and I just mimicked him. And if you can mimic the rock stars, you can become a rock star pretty quick, and I found that out. But now it's like, okay, you can make more money in wholesaling in real estate. Like, how do I get this rock star over here? And he like dabbled in it for a little bit, and then he's like, I'm making the jump. And I'm like, yeah, baby, let's do it.
Let's do it all the way, full fledged, right? So now that's full time, both you and him. How big's the team now?
The team, we have 5 total, and we're bringing on a 6th. So we're bringing on another acquisition manager, actually. He has loved going on every appointment and being the rock star. But now he knows, like, I need to be working on the business and not in the business. So we're bringing on a rock star. We just met with him at lunch a couple days ago, acquisition manager. So we have disposition manager, which takes care of, like, after it's under contract to closing.
Okay.
We're bringing on an acquisition manager that'll be the one going on the appointments and putting it under contract.
Okay.
We have, and I love, by the way, we target full-time stay-at-home moms. They're rock stars because they give you the best 4 hours. Because, like me.
What do they do, the stay-at-home moms for you?
They'll do, like, control all the marketing. So they're the ones staying on top of, like, what mail piece is going out to what list and how often. They line up all that. They're the ones that are talking with my virtual assistants that live in the Philippines and, like, making sure that they're scraping the list and getting everything prepared because we have to mail on this day.
Yes.
They're the ones talking to the VAs that are running, like, our KPIs, which are key performance indicators, making sure what our numbers are. Yes. Mail pieces out for this lease, how many phone calls, how many converted sales, how much money. So VAs are really, virtual assistants are the ones doing all the numbers for us. Right. And then they're just kind of in the background. Like, if we have to send someone to the county to go get new probate list or eviction list or divorce or anything like that, it's our full-time stay-at-home moms that are just, it's awesome. When we get to 3:00 p.m., that's when we fall apart, right? It's like, man, I'd rather be home. Same thing. Like, we get the best 4 hours. Like, while their kids are at school, they're rock stars for us for 4 hours, and then they get to be a mom when they're done after 4 hours.
I love that. And smart recognize. So you got acquisition manager, you got dispositions, you got marketing, and then who else?
And then our virtual assistants. Did you already say that?
No, your virtual assistants, your virtual team, basically.
Yep, virtual team.
Anyone else besides yourself? You're on acquisitions right now. Or are you on? How are you?
I'm really just working on it. So I'm the one that's just thinking of new strategies to refine. So we have
homeowners anymore. You're not doing those things right now.
And Mark, very soon, my business partner, will not be doing those as well. Gotcha. It'll be both of us focusing on how to just build the business versus go out on it.
Gotcha.
On all appointments and being all the hats.
Exciting. That's exciting, man. Well, if you had to start, like, actually before I ask that, what's one of the greatest lessons that you've learned, like up to this point, that's helped you get to where you are today, Cody?
The greatest lessons I have learned, I would say, for whatever reason, and I don't know, I consider it a huge blessing, but for whatever reason, just wanting to always better myself. Yeah. And I came across, and this might be one of your questions, and maybe it's going to jump to the point, but just being open-minded to learn more. I came across a book that taught me something that was like priceless. And it was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Great.
And this book just taught me, like, keep it simple. Like, just do the simple things over and over and over again. And that is the difference between people that achieve and people that don't. It's not anything big that I'm doing. It's not any grand thing that I'm doing. I'm just doing small things and a lot of small things over and over, like, consistently. And the difference is when I do those things consistently, my business grows, my relationship with my wife grows, with my kids grows. Everything is just.
It's like that note. It's like that little note you give her every once in a while. Like, I mean, over time, it's like you do these little things, you start adding up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that book. Incredible.
So just staying consistent.
I love that. If you had to start all over, how would you change things right now? What's some advice for someone new?
If I could maybe turn that just a little bit. One thing I would keep the same, because I honestly push this to my success, was one thing I would keep the same and not change. If that helps without dodging a bullet, I would always start with a mentor. There's no reason why we should reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already made. It's already rolling. There's no reason to try and build one and start pushing it. The wheel's already moving. There's someone out there, yourself. There's so many people out there that are doing it, that are already successful at wholesaling and wholesaling. Why not find the best fit for you, find out who that person is, and have them teach you how to do this? That was the greatest secret I could have ever come across, was just literally leaping off the edge and saying, okay, I'm going to hire a mentor. And that's the one thing I would say for beginners. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't waste all this money thinking, oh, I watched a YouTube video and now I'm a rock star. No, get into it with a mentor and let him like get you up to where he is and then just go forward.
Yeah, there's a difference between getting underneath the operating table with a doctor, right? And really going through and figuring out, everything that needs to be worked on and fixed compared to just getting an x-ray. At the end of the day, I think a lot of people do approach things with an x-ray mentality, and it doesn't show everything that really needs to be fixed, the things that need to be worked on. And in fact, sometimes it doesn't show the things that are even the most important that could eventually kill your financial success, especially if you're getting stressed out, or if you're doing things in a way that a mentor could tell you, hey, you just need to fix this. Other thing is, a lot of times a mentor will be able to, and this, look over from some altitude and give you some perspective because he's not in those weeds of where you are in your own business, has been in his own business and his own weeds. But whenever you look in someone else's business from kind of that altitude, you're able to connect those pieces a lot more simple, I guess would be the way to look at. Would you agree with that?
100% agree. When we're in the beginning, I look at it like a corn maze, right? We're going through this corn maze and it's like, which way do I go? And then you got your mentor that's over and above. It's like, okay, Cody, turn right. Okay, go left. Cody, okay, go straight. Yep. Okay, no, not that right. Another right. Okay, go that way, right there. Right. Like, it is so easy because they have that 45,000, like you just said, 45,000 foot aerial view of like what you're doing.
Right. They're like in a balloon looking over the corn maze, right? Telling you where everything is, and you're in the maze.
Yep. Yeah, so. And then there's people in the maze that don't have that person in the balloon, and they're like, oh, crud, I think it's this way. I don't know. And they're like, how is this guy just running through it? It's because I have a mentor.
Right? I like it, man. Okay. So what's one of your favorite motivational business quotes?
In fact, I don't know if you can see it on this screen or not. In the back, I always have a whiteboard, and I see this every morning. Tony Robbins is like one of my get up, pump up, rock and roll, get my heart going.
You're not a cow, baby. You're a rhino. Get up and charge. Come on.
Oh! And so he always says, complexity is the enemy of execution.
Ooh, I like that.
I absolutely love that because so many people
like that.
Build up in their mind, oh no, I've got this and all this and this and this and this and this, and oh, to get there I got to do this, and they make it complex in their mind. Well, they'll never execute because it's already so hard in their mind.
I like that.
Keep it simple, break it down simple, and just make it very actionable. In fact, I teach students nationwide that it's all about being just very, very simple steps, just like Compound Effect, Darren Hardy, very simple, actionable items, and you just add upon it, line upon line, precept upon precept. Do not be complex and hard because complexity is the enemy of execution.
Love it, man. We're going to put that in the show notes. We'll put all these things in the show notes here, especially any kind of books or any references we have. One thing we talk about in our company, Real Estate Investing Profits, is on our education side, is less education, more execution. And I think that it goes right along with that. It's sometimes more education will actually hold you on the ground. Because you can get the analysis paralysis, and sometimes you just make it too complex where you have to make it perfect, and there's really no such thing as perfect, even though it exists in our mind. Totally subjective. But
take perfect action.
Perfect action. Love that, man. Love that. So, what books do you recommend, or one that's really changed your life, Cody?
Yeah. So besides Darren Hardy Compound Effect, another one that I really, really love is Jeff Olson has a book called The Slight Edge.
Slight Edge is great. In fact, I've just got the CDs of it because I couldn't get it on Audible.
Okay.
So I actually got the CDs of it, and I'll actually let me prove it to you. 1 second.
I love it.
I just got it.
Come on, show me the magic.
I just got it. Look at this, buddy. Look at that.
Yeah, that's it. The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson. I'm telling you, if Corey Boatwright has The Slight Edge, this is a book you should be grabbing. It's awesome. It's good stuff.
Turning simple disciplines into massive success.
This guy is a rock star. This author, Jeff Olson, is a stud.
He is a stud, and basically, it's the difference between the guy that places 8, 9, and 10. Right? It's like there's just a hair. There's just a nose difference, but it makes all of the difference in the world. And just working on those few little items. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm on CD 1 right now. So
okay.
I have 2 more CDs, but
awesome.
I'm excited about that. It's funny you mentioned that. So I just got that in.
You're going to love it. Yeah. That book is fantastic.
Great. So that's a good one, obviously. Okay. Do you have a mobile app that you use in your business on a day-to-day basis?
Mobile app. This one sounds funny, but I use it literally every single day, and that's Cam Scanner. CAM as in mom, Scanner.
Come on, man.
And this is like my favorite app. And am I tapping into an app that you use too?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Cam Scanner. Let's see if I can pull up the picture. It is.
See who can show it first.
I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Cam Scanner.
You got it. Let me
so
see here.
That app is so awesome because when I'm have my team go
Cam
out.
Scanner.
That's right. So this one right there, it's a free app and it's a scanner. No longer sending it through at home, get your printer and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like this is something you take a picture and right from your phone, you're able to fax or email or do whatever you want with that document. And then I leave the actual hard copy with the seller so that he can keep that and then already have documented everything else.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. And I love this app. There's another one that's really good too. It's just called Scanner. But this one's really good. It's not Cam Scanner, but let me just look at this one. I'm trying to think of the name. Scannable. If you haven't looked at Scannable, it's by I don't know if it's by Evernote, but basically it scans right to Evernote. So it's pretty slick as well. But what I like about, and they're both similar. What I like about Cam Scanner is that you can save in multiple formats, and just, in a PDF and an image, whatever format you want, and you can batch easy in that Cam Scanner, which is cool because we get, you get a couple of contracts, a couple of pages, you can just hit batch and it's going to add that next page. And, and it really does a good job of, the what is it? The CTR, CR, whatever word it is, you get the actual text on the page where it looks real clean and clear.
Yep.
Yeah. So something CTR scanning or
I'm
something.
so
like
bad
that.
when it comes to any techie phrases. Like you're talking to the wrong guy.
That's cool. So the Cam Scanner is really cool. So you use it where you take a picture of the contract when you're at the person's home and you leave them the physical contract, whether or not they accept your offer or only if they accept your offer.
Like only accept their offer. Like they're accepting our offer. I take a picture of the actual contract and then I have it now for my file. I send it off to the title company. I send it off to my stay-at-home mom that starts attaching it to the file in Podio, and then it just starts the works from there.
So I want to give you a little tip if you're not doing this already. I'd love to hear the feedback if you haven't done this and you start doing it. Start leaving a contract with the person, even if they don't accept your offer. Because I don't know if you're doing that right now.
No, interesting. I'd love to hear your feedback.
So what happens is it's actually a psychological connection. Whenever you give somebody something, they actually feel obligated to you, even if it's a contract, believe it or not. And even though the offer isn't exactly where they want to be, it will be there with them and they'll look at it. They'll remember it when they go to bed, especially if you're like not too far off, and you tell them, you give them, the key is you give them a time frame on how long your offer is good for. So you say, I'm going to leave this offer with you. I know we couldn't get there today. We're here. I'm here, and love the property and know we can get some things done with it. At the end of the day, I'm going to leave you a contract. It shows I'm here and committed to you, but it's good for 7 days. So if I don't hear from you in 7 days, I got to purchase other properties. I only got a limited amount of capital. I'm interested in this property, blah, 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 right? And so you have a time frame now, a deadline on it. And you'll get
psychology at its best.
Yeah. So you'll be surprised that a month, you'll be surprised that you'll get one of those deals because they don't want to, one, you have a deadline on it, right? It's two, if they feel some type of obligation. And let's say it's 1 out of 10, right? That's an extra deal. And in your area, I don't know what your actual profits are per deal, but I'm sure they're bigger than Oklahoma. So, that's a pretty, you can get these little extra pops just by simply leaving the contract with them.
Awesome. I like it. I will definitely try it and I split test everything. So I love a good gold nugget, and I will gladly try that.
Cool, man. All right. So we talked about the mobile app. That's really cool. Do you have a morning routine, Cody?
Morning routine. I am up at 5:25, out the door by 5:30, hit the gym. And from there, I'm there for about an hour, head home. And then for me, 6:45 is kind of like my personal improvement. That's like the spiritual side the power hour, right? And so I do the half hour of 6:45 to about 7:15. That's like kind of my build myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, get that going. And then from there going forward is like my favorite time and the reason why I'm an entrepreneur. I know there's risk. I know there's liability. I know it's going to be tough, but I choose to be an entrepreneur because at 7:15, I get to help my wife get all the kids ready for school. I'm the one that jumps into, and a lot of people are going to laugh and make fun of me. I get to jump into that minivan here in Utah and put my kids in the back and drive them to school. I'm the one that like gets to give them like the pat on the butt, like, have a great day. I love you guys. Like, see you later. And then I drive home and then like work starts after that. And I work from home, but this is why I chose this route. But that's my morning.
I love that, man. Do you get 8 hours of sleep?
I get 8 hours of sleep. I'm down in bed like 9 o'clock. My kids are in bed by 8, and everyone in our neighborhood's like, 8 o'clock? It's like still sunny outside. I'm like, I know, but I'm in bed by 9.
Discipline. That's the discipline, man. What are you most grateful for, Cody?
You know, this is going to sound cliche, but I thought about this. I saw this question, for some time now, and it truly goes back to just the simple, but the most powerful thing in my life, and that's my family. They are my drive. They are my why. They are what I do. And I've always told myself I will have achieved success or found success when my family sees me more than my employees do. And that has always been my goal. It's not a number amount. It's not money. It's not the game. I want freedom, and I want my kids and my wife to see me more than my employees do.
That's what a great goal. That's great, man. I really, really like that. So we talked about this with mentoring. So what point would you recommend hiring a mentor? How important has a mentor actually been to your success? I know you said that if you change things over, you get one right away. So that kind of speaks for itself. But how important has one been to your success?
It has been everything as it's been for wholesaling. And it's been to the opposite when I didn't. I was offered an opportunity for my insurance, and you've seen the outcome on that. $19,000 my first year. It was a rough year. It was a hard year. I look back and think of the difficulty, even as my wife, like, why are you still with me? Like, this is pathetic. To another business opportunity of being a wholesaler and starting with a mentor right from the get-go. And my suggestion would be, like, right out of the gates, get into it. If you're going to get into wholesaling, I would say don't do anything until you hire a mentor, because you're going to realize that there's so many dollars that are so hard earned. Like that 19,000, even though it was a low number, it was 60, 80 hours a week. They were hard earned dollars. You're going to waste a lot of those dollars guessing and second guessing and buying the wrong list, buying the wrong mail piece. There's no need for that. So if it's something you can't afford a mentor, just save up, go to RIA events and start talking to people and get involved that way. Do work for someone, deliver bandit signs, deliver door hangers, whatever it may be. People are looking for you, but wait until you get a mentor to do it yourself.
That's great. Cody, why do you do what you do? What gets you up in the morning?
I do this at the end of the day. Why do I meet with sellers? Why do I meet with my team and make sure they're doing what they're doing? Why do I coach people nationwide to do the exact same thing with wholesaling? I do this for freedom. And that really is the honest truth. It's not the easiest road. It's not the road that is most taken. It's the road less taken in this nation. But I choose that road for freedom. At the end of the day, I get to work at home. I don't go into insurance office. I don't go into my real estate office except for just to make sure they're hitting their goals. And before we got on this phone call, my daughter was walking in and out, and she'd come in and she'd tell me, "Hey, Dad, I just built this bracelet." And she was sitting on my lap, and then she wanted to watch a YouTube video. And I just sat there and I'm like, this is why I do what I do, because I don't miss those small little moments of my girl telling me, "Hey, Dad, look at this bracelet I made," or my boy bringing in a picture that doesn't look like me, but he says, "Dad, I drew you," and it's like this big old blob. But this is like, why I do this.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Right. I do it because I love those small moments, and there's nothing else out there that has ever allowed me to do this but getting involved in real estate.
So powerful. Such a powerful thing. And I think that resonates with so many folks listening right now, because they may not be there. They may be in that job and they want to do real estate investing full time. They want to pull the trigger, or some of them never even done their first deal and they're just fearful. They're fearful it's not going to work. They're fearful that they don't understand all the pieces. They have to everything has to be perfect. The contract to be everything has to be perfect. What they don't realize is that perfection is holding them back. And not only perfection is holding them back, but fear is the other thing that encapsulates your ability to be able to reach your dreams. It's the thing that holds you back often from reaching the thing that you want out of life. The funny thing is, just from a tweak in mindset, and Tony Robbins advocates this. I've listened to tons of Tony stuff. Is that once you change your state of mind, once you change it, you can actually use fear instead of fear dragging you along on the leash. You can actually switch and you can have fear on the leash, and you can have fear be on your leash, and you can use fear to push you into things that may be uncomfortable for you, right? You can use fear. In fact, often if you're fearful of something, there's a good chance you should go ahead and do it.
I was just going to say that.
Not always, but often that's the case, because there's that side of us that stays comfortable, but comfortable is not where you're going to reach your dreams. Comfortable is not going to take you to where you want to go in life, to have the moments with your son and daughter and watching YouTube and looking at drawings.
Comfortable is going to pay you $19,000 a year in insurance.
$19,000 a year. Somebody over your back telling you when to drink coffee, when to get up, when to take lunch. If you came in 3.5 minutes late, that's what comfortable is going to get you. So at some point you have to decide, am I willing to stay comfortable? Right? Or do I want freedom? Right? Do I want comfortable? Do I want freedom out of my life to be able to experience everything I ever wanted, and have the freedom to do the things, not only for myself, but for my family? Right? So, at some point, what we do is we make comfortable the bigger priority, and freedom the thing that we just don't think we can touch. We can't quite acquire it. Right? So we got to change that mindset. Just like fear is the thing having us on the leash, we've got to put fear on the leash and us be the master of it. Does that make sense? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Stay uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is where you want to be. Success has never been in the comfort side. Success is always on the other side of comfort when you're uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. I love it, man. Okay. So how can we serve you? What can we do to connect with you? What do you got going right now? What are some things you want to accomplish? We can help you accomplish in the next 6 months to 12 months. How can we serve you, Cody?
Yeah. If people want to learn more about wholesaling, wholesaling, flipping homes, tell them they can head over to investorgrit.com. That's investorgrit.com.
Okay.
They can get on our mailing list. We're always giving out free content that will help them crush their wholesaling business and actually get them involved in wholesaling.
Love it.
If they need help exploding their wholesaling business, they can click on the coaching tab, book a free strategy call with us. And if we like what we hear, we can even invite you to be part of the tribe. It's that easy. Simple.
I love that, man. Sounds great. Well, I appreciate you taking the time on here. It sounds like you're just absolutely crushing, and I know why. You're doing it the right way. You're serving others first. You're actually investing in other people's lives and your team first, and you're looking at profit as the thing on the other side. I talk about money, mindset, and mechanics, right? So most people put it in that order, but really it's mindset, mechanics, and money. So when you get those two things in place, the money and the mindset and the mechanics, the money comes looking for you. And so I love the fact that you're not chasing money. Money's being attracted to you. The deals are being attracted to you because of what you're putting out there, because of how you're investing in people. And that's why you're continuing to rock. And I think you're just on the start of what you're going to be able to accomplish, getting a bigger team and doing bigger things. So awesome stuff, man.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate it.
Love that. All right. Well, remember, be a servant just like Cody, and we will be on our next podcast, Profit Masters podcast series. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
See ya.
Hi, this is Corey Boatwright, and I have a quick question for you. What is the fastest way to reach your goals? Is it to work harder, work smarter, use system and processes, or hire rock star employees? What about just making more money? Actually, it's none of that. Those things are a byproduct of the one success component that every real estate investor or business owner that I know all have in common. And the answer is clarity. Complete laser focus on what you want, why you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it. So where do you find clarity? By hiring a coach and mentor. Now, could you reach the level of success that you want to achieve by doing this all on your own? The Lone Ranger. Well, maybe, but do you think it would take you double or even triple the time to achieve it compared to hiring a coach and mentor to help guide your path, provide proven instruction with a tailored blueprint that you could follow for building a real estate business that supports your lifestyle and helps you reach your financial and personal goals? Absolutely. Here's the fact. Time isn't recyclable. So I would like to ask you to make good use of it and extend a personal invitation for you to book a phone coaching strategy session by going to callwithcorey.com. That's callwithcorey, Corey spelled CORY.com. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions on that page, and we're going to go over and see how we can make sure that your business is on path to reach the goals that you want this year. So go to callwithcorey.com, that's CORY, and book your phone coaching strategy session today. Remember, be a servant, and I'll see you on there.
You've been listening to another Real Estate Investing Profits Master podcast series. To receive your free real estate book, Down and Dirty, Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide, how to quit your job to start flipping houses in 90 days or less, head online and go to realestateinvestingprofits.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Estate Investing Profits. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.